Welcome back. I hope you're having a great time learning. Okay, now that you've got a grasp of what PHP is all about and how to go about downloading and installing the necessary server and text editor, it is time to start a new project. In the previous videos, I talked about creating a new folder called PHP Project. So I hope you've done that. But if you've not been able to do that, let's do it together. So I'll be creating a new folder in the WAMP www folder. I'm using the WAMP server since my WAMP is already running. So don't feel uncomfortable if you are using the XAMPP server. It's just the same thing. All you need to do is get into the htdocs folder and create this exact folder. If you are using the WAMP server, create the same folder in the www folder. That's all. There is nothing different. You're not going to get an error for using XAMPP server while I use WAMP server, or I use XAMPP server and you use WAMP server. So it's just the same thing. As long as you are creating it in the root folder, that's all that matters. Okay, now I'll create a new project called PHP Project. This is the folder. PHP Project. Okay. Now, starting our new project, remember I said I'll be making use of the Sublime Text Editor throughout this class, but feel free and be comfortable with whichever one you decide to use. Just be very comfortable. As long as you follow the steps and do what I do, you'll get the same results. So I'm going to open the Sublime Text Editor right now and bring our new project over to the text editor. Okay, Sublime Text is open. To bring this new project folder, this PHP project, over to Sublime Text Editor, there are two ways you could do that. You either drag it from here into this place, or you use the menu File and Open. So let's see the first option. So I've just dragged my new PHP project folder into Sublime Text Editor. So what if I don't want to use this option? Let's remove this folder and use the other option. You can go to File, Folder. Since you're trying to import this folder, you use Open Folder, not Open File. So we are opening this folder, PHP Project. So we look for that folder in your C drive, WAMP64. If you're on XAMPP, you use XAMPP and htdocs, and then click once and select folder. So now we have a totally new window with our folder. So let's close this window, having another folder there. So just like I said, two methods to open your folder in Sublime Text Editor or whichever text editor you are making use of. Now remember, if you take a closer look at this folder, you can see that the folder is open, and that is why the arrow is pointing downwards. Clicking on it, the folder is closed. The folder is open. So there is nothing inside this folder. We don't have a single file inside this folder. So let's go ahead and create a new file. Right click and select new file. Now this file is titled Untitled. It doesn't have a title yet. So before we do anything here, it's good we save our file. Yes, we've not written any code, but it's good we save our file. This is not a law, but it's one of our good habits. So after opening any of your preferred text editor, before writing anything, save your work. Reason is, you might totally forget that your work hasn't been saved until your computer trips off. Oh, and that is the beauty of programming. So in order to avoid that, make Ctrl S your friend. Okay, so Ctrl S. We are going to save this file as index.php. Remember, this is a PHP program, so we'll be saving with the extension .php. Now we'll hit save. Now we'll have our index.php file inside this folder. Now let's open the folder and you can see your file index.php. Now you might want to ask, why index.php? It is not a must to use index.php, but we generally use index.php because it is the first or default page your site visitor sees when they visit your website. So it is like the landing or top level page that makes it possible for a website to load on a browser. So you can save it as, just like you say in the example, you can save it as new file.php. It doesn't matter. You can save it as test.php, but it is most preferred to use index.php if it is the first file you expect your site visitors to see when they visit that website. So note that it is advisable to save with lowercase characters always, and without spaces or any special character. So if you must use a space, you use an underscore to space the word. In the next video, we'll be writing our very first PHP code. We'll be learning how to declare the opening and closing PHP tag. So stay tuned and I will see you in class.